All right, let's just jump into it. So black, red, hollowed one here. We often like to talk about how Magic is a skill game where the better player always wins. So this is an excellent deck to iterate or show that fact that if you are truly skilled at Magic, you will often win the game. What better way to do that than by discarding 3 cards at random? This card has some similar cards to the Bridgevine deck in Bloodghast. But one of the things that this archetype does really nicely is that while it utilizes the graveyard for these recursive threats and for its delve creatures, this deck is capable of just playing Magic without having a graveyard in play because it has cards like Flameblade Adept and Hollowed One, and they can also just cast these cards. So like while your opponent has Rip or Leyline or other things like that in play, this deck still gets to play functional Magic a lot of the time, which is one of the really big upsides to it. So this deck's a little bit less explosive than the more graveyard-dedicated decks, but it's able to be a little bit more consistent through that hate, which is nice. I know it feels weird to describe a deck that has cards that say discard 3 cards at random as consistent, but it really does, because we just see so many cards, the fact that we're discarding 3 at random, like we have so much redundancy that usually that's fine. Huh. I think this hand's a mulligan. These threats are nice, but like we need like one of these cards. We need one of these cards to be like a Faithless Looting or Burning Inquiry or a Goblin Lore. The hand just like doesn't go anywhere. We like play Flameblade Adept and then the hand does a whole lot of nothing. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Bullfoot. I appreciate that. Welcome back. On the draw, I'm going to keep this with this cry. I'm going to bottom that. Again, this hand has the issue of it doesn't have an enabler to start, but I don't think I want to go to 5. And this hand has double hollowed ones. Like we find a Burning Inquiry, like it's very good. Snow-covered plains. I've seen some Bant control decks going around. Second snow-covered plain probably implies not that. Snow-covered plains, Altar of Dementia. Alright, you have my attention. Hey, Drew. Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Alright, we're just casting our stuff. This is not what we want to do, but it's the hand we've drawn. It's a persist combo deck, sure. They have things like Vizier remedies then, I'd assume. Start by attacking. And offensive, sure. So if they have either of their cards that prevent them from getting minus counters, we get milled out next turn. Discard a card, deals 1 damage to... Sure. Hey, Boxman Dave. Thanks for 13 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Hey, Jays. Thanks for the tier 2. Hope life is treating you well. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, am I just playing a 2/2 haste and attacking? I think that's the plan. It's awkward that I have to like use my fetch land. Because now if they block one of these, I can't get it back. Yeah, my options all kind of suck. Our hand, I kept a medium 6 with a scry on the draw, and then like didn't have anything come together for us. Alright, this didn't block. Deal. Alright, so this is an infinite combo here. They've assembled 3-card infinite. So this lets them sacrifice a creature to mill target player equal to that creature's power. And then this says creatures can't get counters on them. And these cards come back into play with a -1/-1 counter when they die. So basically, while this is in play, they can sacrifice this to mill me for 2, and then this will persist back, but it'll persist back without a minus counter because of Solemnity. So then they just get to mill me for 2 again and again and again. So pretty slow clunking in there for us. Opponent able to have more than enough time to assemble their multi-card combo. Collective Brutality seems a little bit mediocre. Lightning Bolt seems fine. Maybe we're in a couple of Fatal Pushes here. Maybe Grim Lavamancer. Maybe I'd rather have Thoughtseize than Fatal Push. Their combo is a lot of cards, so having Thoughtseize to kind of break that up seems fine. I think that's about all I want to do. One of the nice things to note is they can't play Rest in Peace. Or if they do, it shuts off their own combo, so I don't have to worry about that. Morning Giddle. I don't know if I want Grudge. I guess it breaks up one of their combo pieces. What do I want to cut? Bloodghast gets blocked. Sure, we'll trim Bloodghast. Grudge is probably fine. Do they have sacrifice outlets that are not artifacts? Like can they combo without an artifact? Oh, that's true. Yeah, would I rather just Leyline them? Leyline does stop them from persisting. I think I prefer that idea, actually. Okay, I think I prefer that idea. Maybe these Thoughtseizes even aren't very good. Schwangy, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just board in Leyline. They do utilize their graveyard. Thank you for the awesome magic, straight talk, and memes and shenanigans. We do what we can. This hand needs a second land or a Burning Inquiry or Faithless Looting, but it's pretty good otherwise. Yeah, probably Manjoey. That's just like kind of Modern's MO, right? Like it only gets faster and more linear. They brought in Tormod's Crypt against me, sure. This card in general tends to be not too amazing in this matchup, just because it. Well, let's fetch in response there. Let's not get Stone Raid by Pithing Needle. Things I would like to avoid, that. Hogak is double Hollowed One stitched together. He depends on the graveyard, though. It's like Hollowed One does have the upside of, again, not needing that graveyard element. I shall not cycle my Hollowed Ones. You got it. So we're kind of leaning on the hope that Leyline of the Void keeps my opponent honest for a little bit. So we can find time to draw a second land here. Alright, and this is the part where we roll up our sleeves and hope to gamble well. Want to keep both these Hollowed Ones so we can put them into play. We kept one of them. This is for people that aren't familiar with this card, it's kind of fallen out of favor. Costs 2 less for each card you've discarded or cycled this turn. On Thin Ice, huh? Maybe I want my Engineered Explosives, if this is the removal spell they're going to be playing. Yeah, 90% of the awful decks that people play in Modern are decks that were just featured on MTG Goldfish. It's basically how that platform works. It's funny, even back when I was accepting a wider range of decks, the decks that I frequently rejected were ones that were MTG Goldfish decks, just because they've got some real, let's call them, they post a lot of deck lists that they haven't actually played games with. Their instant deck techs or whatnot are not things that people have actually tested. Oh, I guess I should save the fetch land because I have Bloodghast, huh? Okay. Oh, and I did bin a Bloodghast there, so this happens. I get to go ahead and cast Hollowed One here for free. Get to I'm gonna actually play the land here, so that way I guaranteed keep the land, because I can crack this as a fetch to sweet. So this guy is gonna attack for 7, and then I get to go ahead and crack this fetch and grab my Stomping Ground and get back a Flamewake Phoenix and another Bloodghast. I mean, there's nothing wrong with enjoying playing bad modern decks, right? Like, playing things that are interesting and sweet and neat puzzles are like half the fun of Magic, but like, on this channel at least we call a spade a spade. Yeah, Tormod's Crypt isn't particularly good against the deck that we're playing. Do I want to bolt this? I feel like I want to bolt this so I can't eat my Flameblade Adept. Well, if they eat here, they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I kill them. Alright, never mind. You can kill my Flameblade Adept. Oh, and it has Menace. Duh. Of course, he's such a scary pup. He's such a scary pup, chat. Red, the classic red, Oh, you're milling me? Thank you. Just like the value mill on the Faithless Looting Bloodghast Flamewake deck. Like, he's very scary. Don't you try and downplay how scary my Flameblade Adept is. Grr. 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 Alright, so I don't really care about Pithing Needle, but I think I want to bring in these Engineered Explosives. I guess they're probably a 4x Solemnity deck, so maybe I don't want the Engineered Explosives. Yeah, 4x Solemnity makes Engineered Explosives less appealing. How do we feel about Thoughtseize versus Bolt? Most of their creatures persist. That makes Bolt a little less appealing. No, their combo depends on their graveyard pike, so I'd be pretty surprised if they have Rest in Peace. Hey, I am a pterodactyl. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks back this way again. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. I kind of want to get these Thoughtseizes in, especially on the draw. What do I want to trim? I feel like it's probably just Lightning Bolt if I trim anything. A lot of their creatures like aren't worth killing. They're pretty low average stat line that don't do well in the face of my 4/4s and my 5/5s. So the question here is, do I play both Leylines? I don't think I do. I think I just play one. Like, they have Disenchant they showed us, but I think I'd rather just play one here, so that way I have something extra to discard that I don't mind discarding. I also think I'm going to be a little conservative here and wait till turn 2 to cast the Faithless Looting, because after I Faithless Looting, Hallowed One still costs 1 mana. So that way I can guaranteed get my Hallowed One into play on turn 2. Yeah, that's fair, Anner. It's pretty close either way. I do like that Thoughtseize can proactively take their combo pieces, though. Yeah, this feels a little bad. So if they end up just comboing us from here, I'm gonna feel a little bit sad. I think it's right to hold the Leyline. Maybe because they mulliganed low, I'm supposed to play it. I'd love to find a Street Wraith here. All right, well, we're not here to not gamble. If we're incredibly unlucky, we're going to discard both hollowed ones here. But we're definitely here to spin to win. Well, that's incredibly frustrating and sad. This deck is what I would describe as emotionally taxing. Well, we got rid of 2 of their combo pieces with that discard, so we'll see. We could just get comboed here because I didn't. It's a Gurmag Angler. All right, yeah, I think we just like put giant things into play. So we do this. We return a Flamewake to play here. We could theoretically be dead next turn. They could go there. They have 2 cards. They could draw a third. They'll draw a third for the turn. They could go land, sacrifice, outlet, and then persist creature. Jeff, could we put these pity towards JAC? Definitely, Enya. I appreciate it. Scissor, thank you for the very generous tier 2 reset. Be sure to take a peek at the deck here. Let me know if there's anything in there you'd like to bump up and see a little bit sooner. Gorv Mox, thanks for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Well, engineered explosives doesn't destroy enchantments. Is something to note here. Good chance we're dead next turn. Ooh, that helps us potentially not be dead. Right. So they just have a bunch of persist creatures. So we could still be dead next turn if they rip it off the top. I think it's right to Thoughtseize as opposed to putting the other Flamewake into play. Now it is worth noting that like my opponent does have like infinite blockers here, right? Thanks, Scissor. Will do. That's really unfortunate. Alright, so now we don't want to be attacking, because if we attack, they'll block with the Finks, and then, they'll block with the Finks, and we won't actually get any damage in. This might be wrong. It might be that I'm just supposed to, I'm supposed to just cast Tasigur this turn. I guess I can do both now. Yeah, we're hoping our birds in the air are gonna be able to run them down. So they're at 10. We know their last card is Masticore. So again, we're just hoping to fade that bridge out of them. Or the altar, not the bridge, the altar. Solemnity would also, or Phyrexian on Life would also be bad for us. We can't win the game anymore if they draw that one. So they've got 8 cards in their deck that lock us out of the game. This is obligated to take, this leaves them dead, right? They go block, take 6. So they need to exile one of my big creatures here, because they can't cast this because they have to discard a card. So they block a 4 power creature, they block a 5 power creature, they take 6. Against all odds, we have won. Alright, we did it. You know what's funny? It's super anecdotal, obviously, but I've had more 5-0 leagues since they 5-0 and 4-1 leagues since they merged the competitive and friendly leagues than when we were just playing friendly leagues, which is kind of funny, right? Like, obviously my sample size isn't huge yet, but our sample size is going to slowly get bigger. Isn't it ironic? All right. Are you ready, chat? Spin to win. We discarded a hollowed one, but we drew another one. So we've got that going for us. The rock matchup tends to be a little bit hard for this deck in my experience. I definitely like being on the rock side of the table. So I assume Flameblade Adept is going away here. You feel Modern's in a better place with MH. I think it's in the same place it's always been. So if they have Tarmogoofy here, it's going to be huge. There's an artifact in the bin over here. Ditch these two. Floop the bird into play here. Yeah, if we'd have gotten Dub Solid one out on the first turn, we'd have probably been okay, but I think we're likely going to be too slow here now. Maybe the Flamewake Phoenix can run the distance. We'll see. I don't have always. Yeah, since Splinter Twin was banned, Modern's basically like with an asterisk, the Eldrazi Winter happened. Like since Splinter Twin was banned, Modern's been mostly more of the same. That card's so good against me. I guess I'm technically supposed to cast this to mill too, right? I'm gonna fight the other Flamewake Phoenix here and be really sad. What was that? So when they printed the 4 and 5 mana Eldrazi like Thought Knot Seer and Reality Smasher, I would encourage you to look up the text of the card Eye of Ugin. Eye of Ugin with 3, 4, and 5 mana Eldrazi, and 2 mana Eldrazi is very silly. Eye of Ugin's a card that was printed originally when Eldrazi were all big giant monsters, and when they made tinier Squidbillies, it got very silly. Am I losing my board? I might be losing my board. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's the solid one at? I assume very dead. They could have a second Goyfir. This actually works out really well for me because I get my Bloodghast back, and then I was a lucker and drew a 4-power creature here. Pretty sure I just want to put them to 3 here. Oh, that's a fair point, Greg. If I cast a looting out of my bin, I could keep a land. Yeah, no banless modern is kind of silly though, because like it's just so different than typical modern that it's just not close. Like I don't think it's a very reasonable comparison to like compare no banless modern to regular actual modern, because like a lot of people don't understand that like there's a big difference between like no banless modern and like current modern plus, you know, Splinter, Twin Stoneforge, Mystic, Birthing Pod even. So Collective Brutality and Bolt don't really kill anything meaningful out of the opponent's deck. Fatal Push and Endured Explosives clear out large Tarmogoyfs like we just saw. I guess Lightning Bolt kills Dark Confidant, but a lot of the time I basically just don't care about that card that's on my team, I think, so... I think this seems fine. Like, I don't hate Lightning Bolt. Like, the floor on it's always pretty high, but I don't think these extra bolts are better than any of the cards I'm already playing here. I guess this also kills Scavenging Ooze, which is a card that I really want to kill. My opponent's likely to have Graveyard Hate postboard, so maybe I trim the Bloodghast. Or maybe I trim, like, BI, because it's technically card disadvantage. I see you, I'm now addicted to auto chess. It is very addictive. And it is a super, super good game type. It is a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm gonna trim around the edges and leave a couple extra bolts in. Especially on the draw, be a little bit more interactive. We're gonna do sub games for Underlords at the end of today and tomorrow's stream. And then not next week, obviously, because next week's the new set release on Arena. So, like, I want all of my focus for content to be on Standard and Arena while we figure that out. But I think the following week, I'm going to work some Underlords into my normal stream schedule for at least 5 or 6 hours. This game doesn't really do anything. The nice thing about Underlords 2 is it's an easy sell for Magic players because it's actually free. Like, normally free-to-play games are like, they're kind of a scam, right? Like, they're free to install, but, like, you need to put money in or an infinite amount of time to, like, actually play them reasonably. Whereas, like, Underlords, you can just install it and play it without putting any money in and not be at a disadvantage and just, like, actually focus on learning the game instead of putting in money. The viewership for auto chess is worse than Magic, but that's to be expected. My viewership for every non-Magic game is worse than Magic. It's like normally for like when I play random things like Skyrim or Overwatch, my viewership is like 20 to 25% my Magic numbers. Underlords has like pretty consistently been like 50% my Magic numbers, so it's been my most successful non-Magic game that I've streamed. Hey, MTG Mike, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so I have a couple of decisions to make here. I could like, yeah, I feel like they probably have a trophy or removal spell here. I think I actually want to just go tap land second Flameblade Adept attack for 1. And then like next turn looting, because this might get them to burn like a trophy on my Flameblade Adept. Teamfight Tactics isn't actually an open beta yet. There's a giant long queue to get into the servers last I checked, and Teamfight Tactics is not going to be on mobile, and it doesn't have Linux support, so I don't really have an interest in playing that one. Also, the diagonal game board seems weird. I think I'd rather have a normal square grid. Open beta starts today. I hope they like quadrupled their servers. I heard people that were in the closed beta that were like, the estimated wait time to get into the server was like 30 days or something stupid like that. Yeah, I technically should attack first. That's a good call. That's why we should attack first. Lesson learned. All right, so this makes this free. If I ditch these two, it puts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in my bin, and this is a 6th card. So I can ditch these two. I can cycle this, and then I can go Gurmag Angler Hollowed One this turn. Ooh, that's nice for later. Pretty decent turn 3 for us here. My wait time for the closed beta was 15 to 25 hours, and most of the time the client crashed. That sounds like quality, some quality software. That is one thing that's like super refreshing about playing a Valve game. Like Thoughtseize gotten better with Arena, but like it like really shows that Valve is a software company when you play one of their products. Like obviously, you know, not to speak ill of the dead, like Artifact had its issues, but Artifact as a whole, like the software surrounding it was just incredibly good. I think I'm actually playing Bloodghast here as a way to insulate myself from a Leyline of the Veil. Liliana is one of the removal spells they could potentially hit here, so I'd like to play this out as a way to make that be less good. And like the Dota application shows that like they're a good software company, the Dota Underlords. Like you can there's already a spectator option in. I would kill for a spectator option on Arena. Like if we could get a spectator option on Arena, we could like do sub tournaments. Are you dead? Scale of 1 to dead. What are we working with here? So, if I attack with everything and they have nothing, they die. If I attack with everything and they have a trophy, they get to exile my Bloodghast. Because they'll get to like trophy one of these, eat it, block this. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I get punished by exactly Liliana the Veil as a follow-up. But I think making them have it here is correct. Yeah, that's not good for us. Yep. Then they eat this. Now they have another piece of food for this later. I think I go ahead and just play this out on 2. So we actually beat Liliana the Veil here, right? Because if they Liliana, they Edict, the Flameblade Adept, and then they can eat 1. If they have another forest, they can stay alive. Yeah. Yeah, no one... I've asked other people... Like, I haven't, like, spent effort to try... Oh, do they have Damnation? Ooh, if they have Damnation, that's a bad scene for us. They could have Languish here, too. Sure. They named Jackal. Yep. So I'd like to draw a Lightning Bolt or Fatal Push here. Those would be lethal. Huh? I think I just pass here. I think I'm just gonna pass. By passing here and waiting to blow up the engineer explosives, I make it so they can't play out any 2-drops this turn. I'm gonna have to use my health total as a bit of a resource to take a hit from the scavenging ooze, but it does mean that they just don't get to play out. They don't get to play out any like Tarmogoyf or anything like that this turn, which is nice. That buys us a turn on that. Now, what untapping does let them do is it means if they have a removal spell for either of these, that they'll be able to kill it and then eat it and gain 1. So like that does come at a small bit of a cost here, but I think that's fine. It has Death Touch, Dimir Spy. So I didn't make the bad play because it's bad. Cards got text. No, it's like fine, right? Like it's a removal spell basically. And I like the fact that my sequencing allowed them to gain an extra life on the Scavenging Ooze does mean they're not dead to the Flamewake this turn. So like my decision wasn't completely free, and maybe it was incorrect. It's up for debate. There are 3 lightning bolts in my deck right now, though, so we've got them dead to those, and we're not anywhere near dead on board ourselves. We're getting close-ish to putting this Gurmag Angler into play, like another fetch land draw. Let's just put the Gurmag into play. Does Faithless Looting let us put this card into play? If I fetch with the Bloodstained Mire, that gives me 1, and this adds 3 cards to the bin. So, yeah. Also gives me a bunch of looks at a Lightning Bolt here. Also gives me looks at a second Flamewake Phoenix. I cracked a fetch land, so Fatal Push lets me kill Plague Engineer here. I got a lot of good draws. No, I changed at the last minute. I ended up cutting a Burning Inquiry and the 4th Bloodghast to leave some bolts in. Man, that's tough. I think I'm supposed to Fatal Push this Plague Engineer, right? Is it Cast Phoenix? Casting Phoenix is better against a removal spell, right? I mean, we lose to removal on Hollowed One anyways. I actually think Phoenix looks better against removal, right? Because if they have removal and I play Phoenix, they like have to kill a Phoenix. We don't get Phoenix back. They have a Grafdigger's Cage and a Nihil's Bomb sitting in play. I think casting Phoenix is correct here. Because if I Fatal Push here, they have to have removal, and if they have removal, I'm left with just a Flamewake Phoenix. And if I cast this, they have to have removal, and if they have removal, I'm left with a Flamewake Phoenix and a Hollowed One. Like, in this situation, they keep the Plague Engineer, but the Plague Engineer is, like, not really doing anything. So, like, both situations, like, make them have a removal spell, but the question is like, what do we have as our leftovers after we make them have the removal spell? Like, would I rather have, I guess this doesn't play around Fatal Push. So that's something to think about here. So in this particular instance, because they have Spellbomb and Field of Ruin, so yeah, this lets them have Fatal Push as an out. So if I had Fatal Pushed their Plague Engine here, I would have killed them here. So maybe the fact that Fatal Push plays around, you're using the Fatal Push plays around Fatal Push out of them, it makes that the right play. I don't know that it's a strict toss, because like they're like making them have a specific card is like pretty good. I mean, Maelstrom Pulse is basically a non-consideration, because Maelstrom Pulse, they're dead on my attack. Yeah, Pulse is a sorcery. I mean, I'm any land away from casting this fish. Yeah, I'm gonna let them. So this turns their Field of Ruin into a wasteland, but I think I'm fine with that. Rather just not take 2. Good game ball on their part, assuming I don't have a 3rd basic or 4th basic. And like that turn with that Faithless Looting is a good example of percentage plays. And you could maybe make the discussion that I think you could probably make the argument that I made the wrong one. When you listen to me talk through my decision-making process that turn, you'll notice before we got to combat, I didn't even think about Fatal Push. So like, if I factor Fatal Push into my decision, I think I ended up making the wrong one. And we ultimately ended up winning the match, but like, that's still a good example of just because you win the game doesn't mean you necessarily made the right decisions inside of that game. So it's worth taking a step back and being critical and thinking about the games that you win just as much as the games that you lose. Well, I mean, like all things, AGH, the decks that we play here are viewer-submitted deck lists. The decks that we play are just indicative of what the community that supports my content wants to see. What did we play against in round 1? Some bad against the odds deck. The right for them to have that many pushes. Yeah, I think so. Like, it's pretty important for them to be able to kill Flameblade Adept on 1. Flameblade Adept can easily run away with the game. Am I planning on emptying the Modern queue before M20? Nope. I don't think I'm playing any Modern next week, but if there's decks that sit in the queue to wait for the week after. I do know if the Modern queue gets completely empty, I plan to just play Standard and Underlords, though. It's always been my plan that I will be here making Modern content as long as people want to see it, but if the queue gets empty, we're actually going to get close to it being empty after this week, probably. We'll be down to, so we're doing 2 decks today, and then we'll do 2 decks tomorrow, and then there'll be 3 decks in it. There's still a little bit. And I don't think I'm doing Modern next week, so the 3 that are left will be sitting for a little bit. I do not expect to put the lore price back. No, playing Modern costs me money. Playing Modern costs me money. I have to spend $10 to play 5 matches of Modern. And that's like even before you factor in that like I have to play Magic Online to play Modern, and I have a lower viewer count while playing Modern. So like there are a number of factors that dictate the $25 price tag. When I play a standard deck that ends up being a total dumpster fire or we run bad with it, it costs me nothing. When we play a modern deck that ends up being a dumpster fire, I literally lose $10. Because that's how Magic Online works. God, we are so bad. We are so bad at keeping Hollowed One in our hand. Convert. So, like, if I just don't discard this card there, we, like, get to put Hollowed One into play and get Flamewake Phoenix back. It's really, really unfortunate. Yeah, having to interact with the... When MTGO Traders has cards in stock, dealing with the MTGO economy is not too bad, but, like, when MTGO Traders doesn't have cards, it's completely miserable getting cards on Magic Online. This application would be unusable without services like MTGO Traders. Looks like we're playing against the Phoenix deck. Our start here is not particularly aggressive, so we're probably about to have a real bad time. Okay, they don't have a thing in the ice though, so that's good for us. Don't have a lot going on either. How many words per second do I type at? It's been a long time since I've checked. At one point it was close to 100. So MTGO Traders is one of the sponsors for my stream. You'll see their banner scrolling down below me on occasion along with the others. So part of my sponsorship deal with them is they provide me cards for free. How many Phoenixes? One burb. Morning, Sufa. We discarded another Hollowed One. Oh, this deck. This deck lets you make percentage plays that punches you in the face when it doesn't work out. I'm part of Twitch chat, so I know I can type faster than I think. Alright, so Collective Brutality and Lightning Bolt aren't particularly good here. I think a Fatal Push is probably important for killing Thing in the Ice, huh? Because sending my Hollowed Ones and my Delve Creatures back to my hand is not good. So, I mean, like, Enya, I want to talk about the logic that you've installated there. So, are you saying I should import in Leyline, or are you just commenting on the fact that, like, it's not going to be a slam dunk, but it's still worth boarding in? In which case, why is it even a comment worth making? So, like, obviously they have Flame. Like, every variation of the opponent's deck at this point is basically playing Flame. But you really shouldn't exert effort and spend energy thinking about things that you can't beat anyways. Or, like, you don't have tools to beat. So, like, Engineering Explosives is probably fine, whether they have Ascension or Flame. This is kind of medium because they have, but, like, unless you're making the argument don't board in Leyline, which I think is wrong. I think taking them off their Phoenixes and taking them off their Faithless Lootings is fine for Leyline of the Void, and, like, I can Faithless Looting through my Leylines later, etc. Hey, Vortex, thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Whoop. We can probably make that happen. I might change some of the details, but we can definitely make that happen. Like, I'll probably fit a 4th Seasoned Pyromancer into there. That card's pretty good. All right. I mean, I would say this hand is good. But the actual answer is I have no idea what this hand is. So we're gonna go on an adventure and learn together here if this hand is good or bad. Odds of doing Underlords today, 99%. I don't like to say 100 because sometimes life happens, but I'm planning to do sub games of Underlords starting about 1:32 o'clock today and tomorrow. So if you are a sub who wants to play some games of Underlords this afternoon, make sure you're in the subs Discord server there. I will be posting the match code in there when we start. Deal. All right, so far our could be anything is not particularly working out. All right, I'll take one more turn here. I'll take one more turn here and cast this Goblin Lore. But if this Goblin Lore doesn't find us like double hollowed one, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next game. They discarded double Faithless Looting. So, like, not only were our draws just absolutely rancid, but, like, they bin 2 cards they get to flash back. I did see Knights got buffed. I played a game at the gym last night, post balance changes. I got 3rd. I actually lost to Knights. They're pretty good now. Right, that's, I mean, I guess my hand is okay. Puck still seems kind of bad. The Dragon buffs as a whole seem fine, but Puck still seems kind of bad. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, and then we're hoping to BI this Phoenix into the graveyard next turn and then floop it back into play on the back of Flameblade Adept to have an extra power. Probably going to fetch my Stomping Ground here. So that way my EE has the option to get up to 4 or get up to 3. Yeah, it's fine. I had him in my mage build. He's worse than the other, than a lot of the other level 3 mages, obviously, because he's a level 2. Alright, so I'm dead to flip this with a bolt, but I don't have any lines to really... I guess I could technically BI here. Maybe trying to BI into a Fatal Push is conservative, but I only have 2 more of those, and like I don't have any control over what this does. So I think my plan here is like play the explosives for 2, cross my fingers, hope to kill them next turn, or hope to not die this turn. Yeah, maybe they overcompensated, Bloom. We'll see. And Valve seems to be taking like a super proactive approach to balancing Underlords, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them adjust a few more times as they try to figure things out. It's a new genre of game, so like I'm not surprised they have to like throw some noodles at the wall to figure out exactly how to balance out all the permutations. Morning, Scooter. Things are not looking good for the home team, chat. Well, I mean, like, there really wasn't much to learn from Artifact. Like, Artifact's issues ran much, much deeper than just the fact that Valve wasn't communicating. In fact, you could probably make the argument Valve wasn't communicating because the game had such fundamental issues that they couldn't fix, like the game being dry and boring and unwatchable. Yeah, not using the moto economy, also a good idea. Brought back seems okay. I don't know. People keep talking about brought back and like blue-white control, and I feel like those people are like completely ignoring the fact that like blue-white control, generally speaking, doesn't play. Blue-white control, generally speaking, doesn't play a lot of fetch lands. There was not an adept in our graveyard, so very likely dead here. Dead to a myriad of things. Lava Dart kills us at this point because they have 2 mountains. They already have 1 in their bin. They've been double Leyline of the Void. Yep. It did the Lightning Bolt. All right. Let's discard 2 Flamewake Phoenix like a professional here. Well, we discarded 1. And Faithless Looting lets me discard a 2nd. Watch us BI them into a card that kills us. That would be really funny. Yep. I did see their comment about Australian mode. That was really cheeky. Alright, well, I mean, if they don't kill us next turn, we have them dead on board, so... good chance that we die next turn, right? Like, they have another Faithless Looting in their bin that we discarded on 1. But, if our butt cheeks clench appropriately and, we get really, really lucky, we have them dead on the backswing. Dead to, like, hard cast Arclight Phoenix here, too. That's a good start for the home team, chat. That's the kind of tire spinning we need here in Hooglandia to win this game. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and they didn't just like snap top and then cast Faithless Looting, so like that's also good for the home team. They went bottom top, okay. Cast another cantrip. Cast another cantrip. Yay! Tire spinning. Woo! Tire spinning. They discarded Leyline and Narset. Yep. Oh gosh, Narset is really rude. That card is super good against us. Holy crap. Is this deck unplayable? Our deck is really bad against this card, huh? I didn't even think about that. Good golly. It's like Burning Inquiry just reads like. This big card, it basically turns Burning Inquiry into 1 with nothing. Just like pay 1, discard 3 cards at random. Oh, buddy. Oh, our opponent is so unlucky. Our opponent is so unlucky. That's so good for us. So good. Do-do. Do-do-do-do. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 be-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright. So, in the face of 1 with nothing, I'm going to cut 2 BIs in this last Bloodghast and board in a couple of Lightning Bolts. in the face of Narset, just like have a way to shoot her down. Cycling is drawing a card. The rules text on cycling is discard this card, draw a card. So you can cycle on their turn to draw, but it's not going to work on yours. All right. Let's do it and do it and do it and do it again. More hallowed boys. More hallowed boys. More hallowed boys. More hallowed boys. Let's do it. Papi. All right. What am I discarding here? So I'm definitely binning the Stomping Ground. Am I binning the Bolt? I think I'm binning the Bolt. Because what I want to be able to do is, I want to be able to Faithless Looting into Fatal Push next turn if they play a Thing in the Ice on 2. Yeah, move, Yugi boy, this is all I got. This is all I've got. Turn 1, 12 power. Welcome to Thunderdome. Enjoy your stay. Don't play a thing in the ice. 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 Cast a cantrip. They didn't cast a cantrip on 1, which is really troubling. It likely means they have a thing in the ice. Alrighty. That's the type of tire spinning I like to see. They made red. Are we getting like Shattering Spreed? They made red. Okay. Man, part of me hopes they discard like 4 Phoenixes here. Because that would just be peak Modern, right? Peak Modern would be turn 1, 12 power, lose the game anyways. They discarded 1 Phoenix. Lava dart, la, lava dart, do. Good morning, Socio Penguin. Get him, clench, everybody clench. They might not be attacking here, because they can flash this back, so they can, like, block plus sack a land to kill a Hollowed Boy here. I'm going to lead on Faithless Looting, because we can find a Bolt or a Fatal Push to bump this off. So this is card 6. This will be card 7, 8, 9. I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford both Delve creatures here. So I'm gonna take the trade they're offering here. The no attack there means they're trading Phoenix, land, Lava Dart flashback for a Hollowed Boy here, and I'm A-okay with that. Like, hit you for 8, cast a 5/5, go. I'm gonna grab a Blood Crypt here. Put my big fish into play. I'm glad we got to have at least one silly Hollowed One game in this league. You got him. He's dead. He's dead, Jim. You've killed him. 13 power. Go. I'm like, now if they have a thing in the ice, it has to chump block, right? So, like, good luck, Godspeed. They shocked down to 8. Is that a concession shock? Because, like, now they have to deal with 2 of these. Well, I guess that's not strictly true, huh? They could put Phoenix back plus kill something. Or they could put multiple Phoenixes in the bin. Even then, they're, like, not really coming back from that. Yep. Easy, easy 3-0. Easy game, easy life. Magic is nothing like gambling, he says as he discards 3 cards at random. Echoing Truth isn't really a card the Phoenix decks play, right? Like, people keep talking about these obscure corner case cards, but is this a card that deck actually plays? Are there any copies of Echoing Truth in any of these decks? Pretty sure the answer is no. Doesn't look like it. I passed a list with 1 in the main. Really? That's wild. Alright, now you're making me doubt myself. The first one had 1 in the main. I think you're lying to me. No, none of those lists, none of these lists have any in there. Using the search function. Don't make me think I'm crazy. Don't do that to me. Here's the link I was just looking for. Feel free to link the one and show me I'm wrong, but doesn't look like it. That was a good draw. We just want some lands now. I guess it's actually kind of just an okay draw, because, like, I kind of want to keep these Phoenixes. Like, I'm not sure I want to delve them away. Land or Hallowed Wood. That'll do, pig. That'll do. These Collective Brutalities have felt kind of middling. I might swap these out for something else. Update some of the details on the list on the website. I think, like, the update Hallowed One list on website. I think the list on my website still only has three ley lines on the sideboard. Okay. Wow. Wow, Hallowed One. Welcome to the party. So, they spent 3 cards putting this card into play. So, spending 2 cards killing it seems like a win for us. Oh, a random SCG IQ list. Got it. For people who have never played an SCG IQ before, they're tournaments that generally have, like, 50, 60 people at them at most. It's basically like playing a local tournament. About 25% of decks run 1 Echoing Truth main. Sure. I mean, like, they have a bigger entry fee than F&M to, like, call a spade a spade. It's also really weird to me that, like, I hate the way Goldfish presents data. Like, their website is not... And from a data purity standpoint, their website's really bad. Like, they make no acknowledgement to the fact that their percentages are all made up and skewed by Magic Online stuff. It's real bad. I'm like they have like things from like Moto Premiere events and their random front page list is like one from a random IQ. All right, chat, this is a lesson for you because I know what it means. What does this goblin attack mean? What does this goblin attack mean? Because I know what it means. It's not Flame Slash. It's Chandra. It's Chandra Torch of Defiance. 4 mana Chandra Torch of Defiance, down ticks to deal 4. The opponent's deck is generally a Chalice of the Void deck, so they're definitely not playing Flame Slash. Lava Coil could be a real card that they're playing. Dismember would have just killed this outright. Or it was just a stone cold bluff and our opponent's a master. It could just be that our opponent took us and is a stone cold master. It means they're bluffing, yeah, sure. That's fine. But like there's really low upside to like calling that bluff. Like killing their 1/1 is pretty meaningless. They could also have Lava Coil. Look at that. Look at that. We're so good at this, chat. We're so smart and thin. Just the smartest and the thinnest of all the Magic players. I would like to kill your Chandra, please. We do not have a looting in the bin. I'm going to hold on to this land for now, because even though I have a Bloodghast has haste because they're below 10, so seems fine. Looking to Fade and Snaring Bridge here. So here's a question. How do we feel about Grim Lavamancer in this matchup? It kills their goblins and it can kill them through Ensnaring Bridge eventually. I feel like I want to trib some of my 1-mana spells because they're a Chalice of the Void on one deck. Maybe I trim a Delve creature because they're potentially a Blood Moon deck too. Yeah, they're also not guaranteed to be playing Engineer. Yeah, I mean, I'm bringing in 4 ways to kill Chalice, though. Bloodghast is kind of mediocre in the face of a bunch of 1/1 goblins, too. Let's try this. It might be right to leave the Brutalities in, just because they kill the goblins through a Chalice on one. You could see that being reasonable. Yeah, the flashback on the converted mana cost and the flashback of Ancient Grudge is still 2. The converted mana cost is always the number printed in the corner. Yep, welcome to Thunderdome. I don't think this hand's a mulligan by any means, but it's obviously gets a little bit neutered by Chalice the Void. Yep. And this is, we talk about this a lot. This is a lot of games in Modern. You just don't get to play. So the green mana in the deck isn't just good for Ancient Grudge, it's also good with Engineered Explosives. So your definitions are often way off, and yeah. So like this Engineered Explosives is not a 3-for-1. These goblins are not cards. So calling this a 3-for-1 is like super disingenuous. I'm gonna go ahead and just get a basic mountain here. Now, this does mean if they have a second Chalice of the Void, they get to play it post-combat, but I think it's worth saving myself 4 points of damage to take that risk here. Like, if I don't blow this up pre-combat, this thing gets to get bigger, which sucks for me. So let's start on Faithless Looting here. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them. Snaring Bridge, a Braid card. And there's still 2 mana off of casting this. I think I just take the bridge, so I don't have a good way to clear it out just yet. Go ahead and bolt that. And then next turn, if we can find a Delve threat, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Worth noting that Hollowed One doesn't quite do it unless we find 2 because they have an Abrade. Oh, this is a mistake. I should have Street Wraith first. Always Street Wraith first. That is the best draw on our deck. I have 2 Flamewakes in my bin. So you get to attack them for 6, putting them to 13, and then we have 11 in play. Wow, they're abrading to save 1 point of life. That's interesting. Because it cost them a life to cast the abrade. I think I'm actually gonna Goblin Lore here. Because Faithless Looting is technically card negative. The classic commercial to remind me to reset. Well, thanks for the 13 months, Sims. I appreciate it. Hope life's treating you well. They are notably in Lightning Bolt Dead You range, which is nice. And that's if they like find their Ensnaring Bridge this. Even if they find Bridge this turn, they're still just like dead to my 2 power creatures. Is that the 4-0? I think that's the 4-0, chat. Our anecdotal evidence of winning a whole lot more since they combined the competitive and friendly leagues continues to hold true. Maybe all the pro gamblers spend their time in the friendly leagues and don't want to play anymore. Maybe. Hey, morning, Nivik. Happy Wednesday. It's like, okay. I wouldn't fault someone for... I'm going to fault someone who mulligans more aggressively than I do throwing this hand back. It's like the low end of keepable. We're not super fast, but I've got 2 pieces of interaction. The Collective Brutality potentially lets me hollowed one on 3. Which is slow for Modern, but it might be fine enough if I have a little bit of interaction in front of it. Morning, Monster Man. If they're on Infect, this hand's pretty reasonable. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to try some copies of Seasoned Pyromancer in this deck? Is that the card that I wanted to add in here? You know, I did a once-over the spoiler last night. And, like, these Collective Brutalities have been kind of middling. Maybe Seasoned Pyromancer would be a good one to have in here. By the London mulligan, would I have mulligan that? I don't know. Yeah, probably another Phoenix deck. Statistically, that seems likely. It could be blue-white, could be Phoenix. Having 2 basics in our opener against blue-white's real bad. Of course, our hand in general is just bad against blue-white because it's just not particularly aggressive. You have mana leaked my Flamewake Phoenix opponent. So smells like blue-white control or maybe blue-red control. Looks like blue-white. Morning, Mid-Valley. You got it. That's fine. We've been playing this deck for about an hour and a half. Modern's an inbred cluster, so let's move along. They had a plan the whole time. We laughed when they mana leaked our Phoenix. But yeah, that's how you know Modern's an incredibly healthy format in a reasonable spot. A lot of the blue-white control decks have been playing 3 main deck, rest in peace. So this card is definitely fair and reasonable and does not need to be banned. Because people can just play main deck Rest in Peace. As far as this goes, I think I was pretty happy with our sideboard in today's set overall. These Collective Brutalities were pretty middling. I definitely had Seasoned Pyro slip my mind last night when I was looking to get cards for this. So I think when I update the list on my website today, I'm gonna update it to this. I'm gonna cut those Collective Brutalities and put 2 Master Chefs in here. The sideboard felt really clean overall. You can maybe even go up a third Engineer Explosives, but I think it's probably fine as is. So let's roll on to our second modern deck